Hello and welcome to the 2022 League Quarterfinals. On sheet 1 we have Legion of Broom going up against Canadian Cartel.
It's going to be a fun one. Two seasoned teams that have made it really far in this bracket so far. It'll be great to see what's going to happen tonight. Teams are conducting practice shots. They had dialed in before the big game.
Look at that impeccable sweeping. We've got some great themes today. We've got Hawaiian shirts, jerseys,
tweed suits.
Tweed suits. If you love tweed, drop a tweed in the chat. Get that engagement up. We'll be your commentators tonight. I'm James.
I'm Matt. We're two curlers on the Sam's Club team, and we're here to commentate your championship. Championships? Quarterfinals.
We'll be starting momentarily here on sheet 1. I hope you're all ready for some wonderful curling.
And if you look at the other side of the ice, we have the Canadian Cartel, our other contenders here.
Speaking of Canadian Cartel, we've got a Canadian delicacy here with us at the desk.
Yeah, we brought back one of our travel teams is returning from, and we found a Tim Hortons. So we got some Tim Hortons donuts, 2 chocolate frosted, 1 plain frosted, and 2 chocolate glazed.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty good spread. We had more of it, we ate them.
Our condolences to all viewers with celiac disease.
Also, the game hasn't started yet. This is just practice.
Do we have one that shows the audience or no? We've got quite the turnout today. The Stone Zone is absolutely packed. Wouldn't you agree, Matt?
Absolutely. Look at these die-hard curling fans out here braving the 45-degree climate-controlled weather of Pagula to be out here and support their team today.
Now that's what I call Penn State pride. All right, it looks like practice is wrapping up here, so we'll have a game starting shortly. Looks like we're getting ready to throw our first stone here.
Opening shots are going to be fired by the Canadian Cartel in their lead.
There's the first stone.
All right, looks a little light. Stone is going to be in play. Looks like we have a nice corner guard, an interesting defensive play.
Gonna set things up nice here.
Switching back to the other side of the sheet, we have Legion of Broom prepping to throw their first rock. Legion of Broom's first rock has barely made it in. Worth noting, the entirety of the rock has to cross that black line, not just touching in order for it to count as in play. All right. We're looking at our third rock in this first end. This time back to Canadian Cartel.
Ooh,
Oh, yours is working. What about mine?
let's get back to the action here.
All right, working on some microphone kinks.
That second stone by Canadian Cartel was real nice. Good guard, center guard.
Is mine on? Check. All right, roger that. All right, microphones are back online. We have 3 rocks in play currently. I'm going to switch back to Legion of Broom. They're prepping to throw their second. As of now, this game is entirely defensive. No rocks are currently in the house. Any man's game.
Yeah, Matt, I understand there's a rule about the first 5 stones thrown in a game.
I am so glad you asked about that. So in order to keep the game competitive, we utilize what is called the free guard zone rule, meaning that guards, rocks placed in front of the house as defensive positions, are unable to be removed from play until the first 5 rocks have been thrown. That means you have to use some skill to get rocks into the house around those guards instead of just moving them. Adds another level to the game. I'm glad you asked.
It seems like both teams are taking full advantage of the free guard zone rule right now.
Absolutely. Front yard is packed currently.
Seems like Canadian Cartel might be going for a draw here. That'll be our first stone in play to get points.
Appears he has shed his jacket for more throw flexibility. And rock is sent. Here it comes. Let's say it might clear these first set of guards. Could be a little bit wide. Not 100% sure if this will end up in play or not. Looks like it is too far wide. It is being removed from play. I like their idea of going wide, going around those guards, but ultimately there's a much wider path between yellow and blue on the left-hand side. Personally, that's what I would have taken. What would you have done in this scenario?
I think that was a good play, but as you see there on the outsides of the sheet, they see a lot less stone traffic, so stones are going to slow down and die a lot quicker.
They die wide.
All right, sorry about that. Doing some microphone calibrations.
Really into the thick of the game now.
Legion of Brew is attempting to elevate one of their own rocks into play. Not quite the trajectory they were aiming for, but it does open up a nice little corridor. Will Canadian Cartel take advantage of that? Nobody knows.
Our home ice does have a few quirks, though. Even the most skilled curlers may have some problems. Would you like to explain what Zamboni lines are, Matt?
Interesting. They're lines created by Zambonis. Most curling ice is maintained by hand. However, the Pagula Center community rink is maintained by Zambonis. At the edge of each of those plows leaves a nice little raised edge that will affect the trajectory of rocks. So if you look at your stream, you can see stripes going down the lengthwise of the ice there. Those are your Zamboni lines. And those will affect the paths of rocks in play.
Canadian Cartel is really using their thinking time appropriately here. It seems they're in a tough spot. But they've reached a conclusion. Let's see what they decide to send down the ice.
Unsurprisingly, for a team dressed like a bunch of professors, they are taking their time to plan out these shots carefully.
Let's see if they can bring that theory into action. Lot of momentum in action today. Seems that Canadian Cartel tried to raise their own stone, but it got bogged down in this mess of guards that we have going on.
At this point, it's still anyone's game. Lots of rocks in play, but none counted for points.
And it looks like both teams are at a loss for rocks right now. Nothing in the house. 2 rocks for Legion of Broom, just 1 left for Canadian Cartel. They're gonna have to put something on the scoreboard, a crooked number.
All right, Legion of Broom is shooting wide, aiming for that gap. Will it stick? Whoa. Fascinatingly enough, peels off one of its own rocks and is going to pause in the back of the house. That is 1 in play for Legion of Broom. Not 100% sure if that's what they were going for, but a fascinating hit and roll off their own rock.
Canadian Cartel skip seems to be signaling a takeout.
Give you a donut.
We'd also like to mention that Legion of Broom is one of the first Penn State Curling League teams with an Instagram account. search up Legion of Broom to find their account, their players, and some of their outfit themes that they've brought to League Nights. Cartel has another rock in play. Looks like they're planning on doing something with that blue rock in play.
This is their final stone, so let's hope that it can have an impact. But it looks like it will die a bit short here. Crowd's going crazy.
And it gets stuck in the guards in the front. Now the round is not quite over yet, but it does not look good for the Canadian Cartel going into this first round. Legion of Broom knows their shot. Looks like they're calling a draw in, using that yellow rock as an aim point, trying to follow up that blue in the back of the house.
Teams have come a long way since the start of the season. League season started with the new pod and bracket system this semester.
Fascinating you mention that. It's a new system we put in play in order to accommodate the record number of teams and players in this league season. We can elaborate more on that later. We have a rock in play, the final rock shot by Legion of Broom. Looks a little light. Not sure we'll see it in play.
They swept
Rock
hard,
fell
but
short.
Yeah, it wasn't enough.
But all in all, it was mostly a safe move. If he shot too fast, it might have risked messing up the arrangement we had right now. That's the end of the end. Legion of Broom is up 1, meaning the hammer advantage is going to the Canadian Cartel. I don't care if I'm muted. This is fine.
Moving into the second end now. Canadian Cartel's going to have the hammer.
That's right. That means the last rock advantage for the Canadian Cartel.
They did not come out of that first end too scathed, just down 1 point, so they can certainly come back.
Canadian Cartel drops one dead center out of the gate. Fascinating. They're not your national. It's an interesting choice of first shot. Now, we mentioned the free guard zone already, but as that rock is in play and in the house, that rock is not protected. I don't think we'll see it around much longer.
Certainly not, Matt.
Canadian Cartel is deliberating. They are ready to answer with a rock of their own.
Looks like they're going for the takeout.
looks like it's hugging the center line. A little bit left, actually. Curling further left.
I think this is repeating the corner guard that they started out with last end.
Interesting choice of shot. Switch back to the other end of the ice. Legion of Broom is preparing to throw another shot. It's likely that they're going to try to throw a guard to defend that existing point they have. Similar trajectory as before, curling right. And it looks like they did it. 2 rocks in play directly on the button. A beautiful shot, and beautiful follow-up to that first rock.
Yeah, freezing right on another stone in the button is definitely risky, but Legion of Broom is showing their skill and prowess here.
Absolutely. That kind of repetition, that kind of consistency, especially on arena ice, is impressive. Cartel's following that Legion of Blue rock down the center, curling right.
It's going to be a close one. Let's switch to the house cam.
And it's wide, but might stick.
Does stick in the back of the house. They've got something at least.
Exactly. Well, insignificant. That rock could count later in the game. Throwing light. Rock might not stick. Looks like a scratch.
Yeah, that's something you really don't want to happen, Matt, because your stone resources are so limited. You only get, 8 in an end, 6 here with the special Pagula rules.
That's absolutely right. It's a valuable resource. Each of those rocks counts. That is a fast rock. Down the center, until they're trying to shake things up. Will it connect? Wide again. It's a bold move attempting a takeout, just like what James said earlier. Rocks are a valuable resource. Throwing hard like that, if you miss, that's another rock gone.
Just like to mention any viewers, if you're interested in trying out curling, we have a Learn to Curl event April 10th at 8:30 p.m. right here at Pagula.
No experience necessary. We have all the equipment you might need. Feel free to show up, say hi, and learn how to curl with us. Shot wide. Smooshed to yellow and stuck. On another sheet of ours, it appears have a measurement. If you look at the right-hand side of the frame, you can see what appears to be the Swifty Sweepers and their respective opponents. But the rock is just a little too close for comfort. This is a game of inches, a game of centimeters, a game of millimeters, so any tiny distance could count for points, it could count for wins. Switching back to the active game, Canadian Cartel has a rock in play. Looks like they're attempting another takeout on the center line. Will it connect? And it connected with the first rock in play. However, worth noting that Legion of Broom had 2 touching rocks, meaning it would have been really difficult to remove both of those at once. Yeah. Center is still open. Legion of Broom attempting to shoot down the center.
It's getting pretty crowded in the house. Let's take a look at the action.
Absolutely, full house here. Here it comes, looks a little wide, a little bit light. Rock is in the house, but not counting for anything.
Canadian Cartel definitely had a great shot there, but Legion of Broom is still closer, sitting 1.
Cartel throwing their second to last rock. Trying to upset Legion of Broom's presence in the house.
That's got some oomph behind it.
Looks like a little wide.
Just wide.
It's rough, especially this late in the game. It's a little hard to be bleeding rocks.
Canadian Cartel does have the advantage of the hammer here.
Absolutely. Last rock advantage is hugely important in this sport.
We'll see what Legion of Broom, see if they can set up an intelligent defense here.
Broom throwing fast. Mostly down the middle. Looks like they are going to take out that yellow.
As it comes into the house.
Just watch it.
The shot is wide. Unfortunate.
Interesting play. Removing that yellow would have brought them to sitting 2 as opposed to just sitting 1. Now it's that only blue in the center that is counting.
Canadian Cartel has the opportunity to put some points on the board here.
Some important deliberating going on in the far house. Trying to figure out best course of action. Looks like they're pondering removing that center blue. What are your thoughts on what you did?
I think that's the most prudent move here, according to theory. But it's all in the execution.
Absolutely.
Canadian Cartel obviously has proven themselves getting to the quarterfinals this season.
No easy feat, especially in this highly competitive bracket. Cartel has fired the final remarks in this argument. Appears again to be wide.
That's just not what you want to see. So that's going to be another 1 blue.
Battle is lost, but the war is not yet over.
Seems like Legion of Broom is just running away with it right now.
However, worth noting that Canadian Cartel retains the hammer advantage. Fast. Now, sometimes throwing through the house can be a tactical move. Keeping the house clear allows for your opponent to make the first move, which allows you to remove their rock.
That's definitely true. Legion of Broom is known for their big brain plays.
Absolutely, it takes a little bit of brain power to get this far in the bracket.
Let us know in the chat which team you're rooting for tonight.
So we have a lot of Cartel fans here. Cartel has fired their first shot. Looks like it might be light. We'll see if it makes it across.
Those Cartel sweepers sure do work hard, though.
Absolutely. However, rock doesn't make it. Dies before the tee line and is getting returned to behind the house. With a currently full house and 2 rocks burned, Legion of Broom is attempting to either throw a guard or stick their first point.
Legion of Broom has decided to put something in play now.
Looks like they're picking top of the house. Pretty safe move, currently sitting 1. Canadian Cartel has fired another rock. This one looks a little faster than last time. They're correcting for the slowness of the ice today. Rock is past the tee line, but not fast enough to reach the house. That'll be another defensive stone.
As we get towards the middle ends, we're going to notice the ice speeding up a little bit.
Absolutely. These 44-pound granite rocks will do a number on the surface of the ice, causing it to get a little speedier in areas that are highly trafficked, like the center of the sheet. Legion Broom shooting down the center line. Looks like they are attempting to draw in another rock, securing their current lead in both this end and the game. Looks like the rock falls short at the top of the house.
The dapper fellows of the Canadian Cartel are just not having a day today.
But it's still far from over.
Curling really is a game that can change in a single shot. Let's see if Canadian Cartel can pick up some momentum.
Canadian Cartel attempting to thread around those two blues in front. It looks like they're short again. They're throwing some pretty good lines, but their weights are a little bit off. Power's a little inconsistent. That's leading to some falling short, some going long. If they were to get that power honed in, they'd be a little scarier this game.
And that's where the skill really comes in. Finding a good weight is probably the most important thing you can do, and you really don't want to overshoot it. It's much better to underthrow.
If anything, in that case, it becomes defensive. But in either case, it looks like Canadian Cartel is eyeing to get some more rocks in play. Lead of the Broom is thrown again.
Oh, we had a fall.
The rock hasn't been touched, meaning it is still in play. Lone sweeper is carrying it in. Will it stick?
Looks like it's a bit too wide and through the house.
Too wide, not the back of the house. Looks like Legion of Broom was almost able to save that rock, but still managed to go through the house.
We'd just like to make sure that everyone in the chat is aware that Penn State Curling is a pro-dinosaur organization. We support
Absolutely right.
dinosaurs from the Cretaceous to Jurassic and any era. Matt, you were one of the lucky individuals who was selected to go to the Curling Nationals this
Absolutely.
year.
As were you.
Yeah, could you tell me a little bit about your experience there?
Well, I've been traveling for curling for a little bit of while. I've been going on curling travel spiels since my freshman year of college, but this was my first time being able to go to nationals, seeing those same teams we played against earlier in the season and earlier years on the national stage for the first time, hosted in beautiful, sunny, warm Fargo, North Dakota at the FM Curling Club. It was a fantastic opportunity, 6 sheets of beautiful, well-maintained ice. And fortunately, we did not walk away with a win. It was a huge opportunity to be there, and we hope to qualify again next year.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on nationals?
I was just proud to be representing Penn State, and we met a lot of brand new clubs. We usually play on the East Coast with the Ivies.
Absolutely. That's the cool part about nationals, being able to see teams from all over the country, especially the Midwest. Midwest being the hot spot for curling in the U.S. A lot of talented teams out of that area. A lot of talented Olympians out of that area as well.
And appropriately, it was Wisconsin's Stevens Point who walked away with the championship this year.
The well-deserved college national championship. Legion of Broom is throwing again. Looks like they're attempting to remove the yellow rock put in play by the Canadian Cartel. It appears they are wide.
Just wide.
It does appear that Legion of Broom is sitting blue, but Canadian Cartel does have one in play, top of the house.
Penn State Curling is also a supporter of scientific research. If you or someone you know would like to donate to help fund horse psychological research, get in contact with us on Instagram at PSU Curling.
Horse psychology, a very misunderstood and understudied field of science.
Would you believe, Matt, that horses react differently to Dorito bags based on the flavor?
Really? That's fascinating. Do we understand why yet?
Not yet. That's why we need funding.
What is a horse's favorite flavor of Doritos?
I think I would probably go with the spicy sweet.
Spicy sweet chili.
Is that what it's called? The purple one?
Yeah, sweet and spicy, but then there's also like a chili one. Interesting.
They recently brought back the retro Doritos logo, right?
I believe they did. There's a little bit of a callback.
Seems like Canadian Cartel is making a retro decision with their wardrobe as well.
Absolutely. I am, however, a very big fan of the outfit choices.
Oh, yes. This is going to be Legion of Broom's last stone.
Interesting to see what they will do with it. Looks like if we switch down, looks like they are taking an offensive stance, attempting to remove that yellow, or score themselves an additional point. It's up to them. Looks like they are trying to draw for two. Let's see if they can sneak it. Legion of Broom's final rock is in transit. They're working hard to get this rock in play. And it falls short. Another consequence of trying to shoot wide.
Really heartbreaking to see, but that's what a good guard can do. It can just shut down the opposing team's offense.
Absolutely. Forces you to take shots you wouldn't ordinarily have to or wouldn't ordinarily choose to. So Legion of Broom went wide. Ultimately the safer option to try to go for 2 points, but it does not look like it's done.
Thank you.
All right, Canadian Cartel is warming up their last rock. This is where we get to see the power of that last rock advantage. However, Legion of Broom's last shot proves to be ultimately troublesome for them. They're blocking that blue that is sitting in play, making it hard to get to. Their only remaining option is to try to draw. Follow this rock through. Looks like it is going to clear the first guards. Looks like it is continuing into the house. Can they bring it?
Oh.
No. Heartbreaking to see. That was a beautiful line and a fantastic throw. Funny, it had a little more power to it.
It's going to be one more for the Legion of Broom.
Appears to be one for Legion of Broom. Right here, Legion of Broom is throwing another stone.
We'd just like to confirm to everybody that the player in red, his name is Pat.
I believe that is Pat Berry. I consult the team roster. but we've confirmed that he fell earlier in the game, and our medical staff has cleared him to play again.
His tushy is a little red. I personally examined it myself. I gave it a kiss, and he was back on his way.
Ice is hard and people are soft, but he has made it out on top. Legion of Broom's first rock has gone through the house. Canadian Curlers, or Canadian Cartel, are preparing a follow-up.
Looks like this stone is going to end up.
But a little light ending up before the house, serving as another guard. The defensive approach that Canadian Cartel is taking is a little interesting, especially clogging up the center when they have the winning rock. Legion of Broom is now forced to circumnavigate the guard put up by the Canadian Cartel. They are choosing to shoot around the left side. This looks like to be a good rock. Stopping.
Wow.
Just short of the button.
Just short of the button.
Beautiful stone.
And that celebration by the Legion of Broom skip really shows what this sport is about.
Great rod. Canadian Cartel have already prepared their follow-up. They're planning on following that rock in and removing it from play.
And you know, a good skip can really tie together a team. That solid leadership and just being willing to risk it and to go for those hard shots.
And as James can attest, being skipped brings with it a lot of pressure. How would you describe your skipping experience today at the University of Toledo versus Penn State head-to-head?
Yes, so I did skip Penn State's team number 2 today for the first time. Very stressful, but teammates made it worth it, and we put up a competitive game.
Ultimately, the hard part about being skipped is not just the pressure, but also having to make a lot of quick game time decisions.
Yes, certainly, and that's why here at the Penn State Curling Club we have weekly practices to go over strategy so that we can really make those snap decisions.
It's about reading the ice and it's about reading the rocks in play to figure out what the best move is. Canadian Cartels are consistent, but ultimately unsuccessful in getting a rock in play.
I think the technical term would be precise, but not accurate.
Absolutely.
Legion of Broom is sending their response.
Looks like they were trying to follow up their rock in the center. Once again, going left. Looks like they may have shot a little too wide. Slowed down on the wide part. However, rock looks like it is still in play.
Legion of Broom are really the ones who can dictate the pace of this match right now.
Absolutely, being up right now by about 3 in the fourth end of 5. At the Penn State Curling Club, in order to accommodate the number of teams, we play 5 end games with only 6 rocks per team. in order to keep the game moving. We're in the second to last end, and it appears that they are still trying to earn back some points and level the playing field.
Canadian Cartel would have to make 3 of their 4 remaining stones to tie up this game.
Fortunately for them, they still have one end left. Time is starting to run out, but it is still too soon to say who will walk away with this. They're taking their time to deliberate that last rock. No, last remaining action.
You know, Matt, I was thinking today about a very difficult philosophical question that I heard from a wise man recently.
Interesting. What was this question?
The question was whether one would rather have unlimited bacon but no games, or unlimited games but no games.
Can I pick both, actually? Is both of them an option? Because listen, I'd go for the unlimited bacon, but games but no games? I don't know how I feel about that.
Wow. Canadian Cartel just had an amazing takeout shot. Took out that guard that they had on the left side.
Well, it doesn't score them any points. It does keep the path to the house open, allowing for them to use their hammer shot and potentially score some points.
Things are really clear now. Legion of Broom might want to call for a guard.
At this point, without the hammer advantage, playing defensively, while you have the point advantage, is ultimately the smarter move. It appears like they might be drawing for another point. It's a little fast for a guard. Looks like it might be through the house. Interesting move for Legion of Broom to attempt another point.
But it's that aggression and that drive to score that has taken them this far, so we don't see them abandoning that anytime soon.
And we can attest, especially from last season, Legion of Broom's playstyle has been aggressive, high scoring, get rocks in play, and it's worked out very well for them.
Looks like the Canadian Cartel has decided on the shot they're going to make.
Using their time wisely.
Cartel's taking a nice siesta before they throw their shot.
Taking a little time to compose.
I wonder if this Canadian Cartel has any Pablo Escobar relations. Looks like there was a false start by the Canadian Cartel, and they're debating as to whether to give them a redo. Consulting an official now.
To recap for those who might have missed it, what infraction occurred that required review. Since the stone was not released before the hog line, they are attempting another shot. It's fast, it's real fast. Looks like they're attempting a takeout.
Quite a bit of chutzpah on that one.
Let's see if it'll connect.
Ooh.
Beautiful.
That shot was true, but
Beautiful shot down the take, right down the center. Missed 2 guards. Ultimately a successful takeout. Beautiful play by the Canadian Cartel. Now, while successful, that does still leave them with a need to score some more points.
this is an opportunity where you might want to blank an end in order to keep the hammer.
Absolutely. Hammer advantage is only lost in games where points are lost. Ends that are concluded with no points or blanked do not switch the hammer advantage.
Looks like Legion of Broom is showing off more of that consistency.
So another draw a little further away, but still in play.
Just a magnetic attraction to the button.
Absolutely beautiful shooting on their end, especially around guards. Cartel is attempting to follow up their last takeout with another shot.
A little less on this one. We would like to assure everyone in the chat that our officials are closely monitoring the game and making sure that neither team has an unfair advantage.
Now with that shot short of the house, Legion of Broom is still sitting 1. Going into this 4th end, the quarterfinals. Legion of Broom firing their last shot, second to last end. Calling for extra sweeping to make this rock cross. Falls about 4 feet short of the house. Ultimately, that may have been their play, was to defend their rock that's currently sitting. It'll make it a lot harder for the members of the Canadian Cartel to dislodge that blue rock in play. I would like to assure the people in chat that we are not getting paid in any capacity. Unfortunately, this is a non-profit organization. Not sure we have 501 status. Think of us as like the Red Cross, UNICEF, Meals on Wheels of curling.
I have not paid my heating bill in months.
As a matter of fact, it is very cold. My house is as cold as the ice right now.
Speaking of desperately needing food, the date auction that helped raise funds for PSU curling was hosted at a local church and food pantry. we appreciate anyone who came to the date auction and participated.
We also appreciate all the clubs that helped us out and allowed for that event to happen.
Canadian Cartel's final shot.
We'll see what they'll do with it.
Let's see if their aim is true.
Interesting. And whoa, working against their favorite, they have elevated one of Legion of Broom's rocks into the house. That leaves them sitting with 2 more points, giving them a 5-0 advantage into the final end.
That really shows off the power of the guard and knowing when to play defensively.
Nothing's impossible, but I call this improbable.
And with a 5-0 lead, it seems like Legion of Broom might just carry this whole quarterfinal game away.
We do appreciate the continued enthusiasm of Canadian Cartel and their fans. Never finished. Broom shoots first, clears the tee line, parks the guard.
Take it later. I'd like to mention to anyone that isn't a student and still in the Happy Valley area that we have a sister club.
We do indeed. Navy Valley Curling Club. They operate here on this very same ice, and they are always accepting new members. It also appears that we have a Penn State Curling Club veteran in the chat today. Nate, great seeing you. Thank you for hopping on the stream. If you direct your attention to center ice, it appears that we have a little wheelbarrow action. They put them down, coming out from our right-hand frame. Legion of Broom throwing another shot. None currently sitting for either team. Once again, falls a little bit short. Now, one thing that is worth noting is if we flip over to the opposing house, the Canadian Cartel has a total of 5 rocks left, meaning they're going to have to use 100% of those stones if they want to tie us. Not impossible, but not probable.
Not probable at all. That's going to be a sad end, possibly, to the Canadian Cartel season. They've had such a strong showing.
They really have. Making it this far, making it to the quarterfinals is impressive. Especially for a team that might have some rookie players as well. Canadian Cartel's rock falls a little short. point, the numbers are mostly sealed. This does not look like something that is winnable. It appears, so at this point, when it is mathematically improbable, teams can elect to either play it out or choose to sign off on the spot. It appears that these teams have decided to play it out. Looks like Legion of Broom has snuck one into the house. They're currently sitting an additional 1 point. Canadian curlers are following up that rock, attempting to disrupt what Legion of Broom has in play. They shoot wide and interfere guard. The center is still open if we look at the receiving house. So you can see Legion of Broom has one in play. Canadian curlers have three in front.
Canadian Cartel's fans are definitely out in full force today, and they're not giving up, man.
Not at all. Even though, we should remind you that now it is officially mathematically impossible. Legion of Broom has decided to salt the wound and is trying to draw again to solidify their lead. It appears that rock has fallen a little bit short. Cartel are following that up with another rock. Here's they're switching directions. Looks like they are going for the blue rock that Legion of Broom has sitting. Looks like they're shooting a little bit narrow. Barely clears the front guard. Not moving fast enough to disrupt that rock in the center. Oh, man. Legion of Broom is attempting to finish stronger than ever. They are calling for them to remove the yellow rock currently in play.
We'd just like to remind all our viewers that we will be having post-game interviews that you so desperately desire.
The Penn State Curling streaming network, we're here to provide full coverage of the games both on and off the clock. Legion of Broom is attempting to follow that yellow stone. They shoot narrow, they shoot light. Will it cross the tee line? No. The rock is scratched. Something admirable about the crazy level of passion that Legion of Broom has for everything. Even though this game is mostly won, every point in their mind counts. Definitely an admirable commitment to the game, even though it's really should have been a hand shot already. We will be interviewing both teams.
There certainly can be a live audience Q&A.
Absolutely. If you want to drop some questions in the chat, we'd be happy to answer them.
There is a delay, so we would appreciate if viewers would drop their questions now.
And to answer one thing in the chat, not quite a question, but they are not coming back. They are way too far down. There are not enough rocks on the ice right now for them to come back. This is strictly just a play out. Canadian Cartel is following their yellow.
Canadian Cartel certainly isn't playing like it's mathematically impossible for them to win. It seems like now is really when they're starting to put stones in the house.
And it looks like they've really found their weight in their direction. A little too late to make a point difference. Little penguin action. 2 rocks left in this this extra end. Not necessarily extra end, but they're just playing it out. Legion of Broom is considering elevating one of their blues up front in order to give them an extra point. Legion of Broom having to follow through with their plan of elevating a rock. Shot wide. Cleared the rock they were trying to elevate and is through the house. This leaves the Canadian Cartel with 1 rock left. Interesting to see what they're planning on doing with it. Not changing the outcome of the game, but they might be able to prevent a shutout. Cartel prepared to throw the last stone of this game. Stone is in play. Stone is fast. It looks like they're aiming for that center cluster and wide.
It is gone. What a heartbreaking way to end a game. But we do believe that both teams played their hearts out. And
hands are being shook down at the far end. This game is concluded with a final score of 6-0. Legion of Broom are now our gold bracket quarterfinal winners, heading on to the finals for their gold bracket. Now following the game, we are going to head onto the ice to conduct some post-game interviews with members of both teams.
Yeah, ours were both back behind that pack.
Gentlemen, Matt, James of Penn State Streaming Network, Penn State Curling Streaming Network. Oh, there's a camera.
we're here with Legion of Broom to conduct our post-game interview. How would you boys say that you played tonight?
I definitely think maybe not one of our stronger games, but overall I think we definitely came through after kind of a tight first end there, and I definitely think we pulled it out. It was a good team win.
Absolutely. Can we get a comment on why your team decided to play out that extra end? You already had the game in the bag and could have walked away with a win, but what was the motive for choosing to play it out?
Well, everybody pays their curling dues and gonna get our money's worth.
Fair enough. enough.
We also, at that point, we knew that even though the match was over, we still have another match to look forward to after this. And so does the other team, and they curled a great match. So I think we all just kind of wanted the extra practice going into the week of finals.
Absolutely. The bracket isn't over yet, so we're thinking about the future.
Do you guys have any plans on what you'll do if you win the finals?
Is this the part where I'm supposed to say I'm going to Disney World?
If you want.
I'm going to Disney World. All right, I'm waiting for my check.
1-0 mentality.
1-0 mentality.
Yeah, I think right now we're not really thinking about after the final. We're just thinking about what we have to do to win it. We're really just looking forward to going in as a team. It's our second straight final. Losing to Sam's Club last year kind of left a bad taste in our mouth. So we're definitely just looking forward to getting some redemption there.
So this really is the revenge tour. Thank you so much, Legion of Broom.
Thank
Thank you guys.
We're here with Canadian Cartel doing our other post-game interview. What are you guys feeling after that brutal loss?
That was an interesting descriptor.
Horrible.
Hunger. Upset.
Very sad. I'm gonna go cry myself to sleep.
A lot of mixed emotions here.
I was going to voice my thoughts. Basically, another way to look at it is just an opportunity to learn.
Absolutely. Listen, the battle's over, and their time in the bracket is over, but their time curling might not be. It's always going to be another season. One question from me. What inspired the outfits?
NBA 2003 draft was the outfit and stuff.
That's the theme.
That's the theme.
Fascinating. A lot of tweed. I like it.
We're coming back for vengeance.
Oh yeah. There's still the losers bracket.
Still some consolation.
We look forward to seeing you guys in the consolation bracket. We wish you the best. Thank you so much for playing your hearts
It's a
out.
pleasure watching.
Thank you.
That's going to be it tonight at PSUCN.
It was a pleasure watching the games, and we're happy to commentate for you guys. Thanks for watching, and have a great night.
We'll see you at finals.